joining us today. My name is Dan. This is my son, Nick. I'm at home. He's away at college. This is exam week, Nick, so it's going to be a short episode today, right?
Yeah, of course. It's been a busy week, but I am excited for what's to come this weekend at Dover, though.
Yes, and it is a beautiful day right here, but it is not a beautiful day in Dover. They just canceled qualifying there. They're trying to get the Xfinity race in today. They've moved the start time for the Cup race on Sunday from 2 p.m. up to 1 p.m. I don't know if that's going to help. If you ask me, Nick, it's going to be Monday racing at Dover.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, they moved the start time, and overall, it's not a very long race, but still, I don't know if the weather is even going to be cooperative that early in the afternoon. So it really might just be a Monday race.
Well, and I suppose it's possible that they could get half the laps in before they call it, but it just doesn't seem very likely to me.
Yeah, it's going to be a tricky weekend. Hopefully, they can also get the Xfinity one done today. I think the weather should be a little better for that, but tomorrow it's kind of certain that it'll be raining in the afternoon.
So we only go to Dover once a year. It's an entertaining track. Lots of things can happen. It's a concrete slick track. It's high banked. The speeds are fast.
Yeah, and just from what I saw in practice, lots of guys are just slipping and sliding around with no one around them, just on their own, which that could definitely be a factor into the race. One guy slips, bumps into 5 other dudes, you got a whole different race.
Then you add the factor that the field is not being set on speed. It's being set based on the metric. So you're going to have some slower guys in the front, some faster guys in the back. We could have a mess on our hands with a maybe even a damp track. Who knows?
We really could. And yeah, that does change things. Having like the fastest qualifying guys not up front. They were guys that were quick in practice. I think they're starting in the 10s, some in the teens. So it could really throw a wrench on a lot of people's game plans of stay up front the whole race.
In the limited amount of practice that they were able to get in, I'm looking at 5-lap averages. Here's one for you. The fastest 5-lap average in practice today was Corey Lajoie.
It's impressive. I like Corey Lajoie. Hopefully he's got something to prove with this race. I feel like this is a good one for him.
His results at Dover have not been bad. They haven't been fantastic, but they haven't been bad either. Other cars that were fast in the little bit of practice, and we can't really put a whole lot of stock in this, but just for information's sake, Chase Elliott, Josh Berry, Martin Truex Jr., Brad Keselowski were some of the fastest cars when you look at their 5-lap averages in practice.
Interesting options. In practice, also, we got to see the Hendrick guys be going around, minus Alex Bowman, of course, but still, I think Hendrick will definitely be a factor. You said before practice even started that they've got great averages. It could just be the Hendrick show.
If you're fast, you're going to have to work your way up.
You could be getting caught in a mess in the middle. You could spin out in the middle, and it could change your whole strategy.
Okay, so at Dover, if you just look, and it sounds like there's a bird that's perched directly behind my computer. It's actually across the street. You can just hear him really well. It's a beautiful day outside, nice spring day. But if you look at the last years of Dover, it's just once per year. But the drivers with the best results at Dover include Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Martin Truex Jr., Alex Bowman, who of course is not in this race. We haven't talked about that, but also Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin. If you're just looking at strictly past Dover results, I see there's a common Hendrick theme in there.
Yeah, most definitely. I like Truex being in there. Harvick again is a consistent driver, but I do fear a Hendrick presence in this race. It's something that over the past couple races I've kind of started to grow sick of it. I know they're good, but I like these other dudes and they're just getting beat out.
Well, how about Josh Berry? Could we put some pull behind Josh Berry, since he's a Hendrick, but he's not like one of these everyday guys, and he's going to be in a good car.
No, I'll give it to Josh Berry, and he's really getting to make the most of these tough situations for Hendrick. He's been in that Hendrick car for weeks now, and he's going to get 3 more. thanks to
Mhm.
Bowman's injury.
Okay, if you look at just the last couple of years on tracks that are similar to Dover, there's not a whole lot that's really similar to Dover, but if we're talking about concrete tracks that have pretty good speed on them, you're talking about Bristol, Nashville, Gateway. Then you also have Martinsville, which is a concrete track, but it's a flat, slower track. But if you look at results over those tracks over this season, the ones they've been to, and last season, the drivers that rate the best for similar tracks include Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Ross Chastain, Christopher Bell, and then there's a little bit of a drop off to Joey Logano, Eric Jones, Ryan Blaney, Chris Buescher.
Yeah, so still a common Hendrick theme.
Yes.
Chris Bell, I like that name, and with the metric, he's starting second, so it could be a good opportunity for him this week.
Last year's race at Dover, Chase Elliott was the winner. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. was second. Do you remember that?
I don't remember him being second, but good for him, I guess.
Yeah. Ross Chastain was third. Christopher Bell was fourth. Alex Bowman was fifth. Kyle Larson was sixth. So every time I've mentioned a group of names, Elliott and Larson have both been in that group.
Yeah. And Elliott will start 10th tomorrow. This could be a perfect race for him. Quick and easy, get himself qualified for the playoffs just like that.
He still does need that win.
Larson starts 18th, a little further back, not terribly far off though. I think there'll be a factor. Hopefully Chastain, he starts 14th. Hopefully he'll bring some fight because I've said it in the previous weeks. I know he's thirsty for a win, and hopefully he can make something work.
So who do you like, Nick? Are you going to stay on your Chastain train until he wins?
I'm actually not, because I think it might be counterproductive me picking Chastain. I just need to let him do his own thing and leave him alone. I hope he wins, but in terms of winners, guys like Hendrick would be a solid pick. But I don't want to pick Hendrick. I don't want them to win. I think I'm going to go with the guy that starts third. He hasn't won a cup race, and I think it's over 50 races. Ryan Blaney is going to punch his ticket to the playoffs at Dover.
Okay. He was strong with the second place at Talladega. You're saying he's going to go ahead and get it to number one this week?
That's what I'm saying. It's been iffy this whole season. I haven't had a lot of faith in him. Last week, he was great. Let's continue it and just get that win.
Okay. Well, I could go with that. I still don't fully trust Blaney, but, he has been better than he had been. So let's see if he can pull off the win this week. For my pick, I'm going to go with needs a win and has been nothing but good at this track, Chase Elliott. I think he'll get it done this time.
Yeah, that's a very solid pick. I think he very well just might get it done this time. He's been warmed up with the last couple weeks. Could just go out and win it right there. There's the obvious pick of a Larson or Byron for sure, being up there. Chastain's also another pick that he could be up there. He might not punch his win, but he could be a top 5 finisher. Christopher Bell also.
Yes, I was going to mention Bell as a possibility.
I mean, what do you think? Out of all those guys, I would picture Bell the most, riding up front the whole race, but not winning. Do you have any other opinion, really?
Yeah, I would go with that. Okay. Bell could even, in fact, win the race, but he's starting up front. He's been pretty good out here. So Christopher Bell is going to be our consensus top 3 driver for this week.
I like that as a third. He seems like one of those guys. He's got enough skill that if he starts up front, he's most likely not going to lose it unless something goes like terribly wrong for him.
So how about a sleeper for this week?
All right. In terms of sleeper, he's still an underdog pick. He hasn't won in a while. So I'm going to go with Martin Truex. I was reading an article about how these next 4 races, it's his time to win and seal his playoff ticket. I don't have the stats with me. I'll bring them next week. But these next 4 races, he's got great career stats on. This is his time to punch his playoff ticket. You know he wants to win. He won the exhibition race and has been iffy. He's been good on some, but he hasn't been able to seal the deal since. Starts 17th. I think Truex would be a good underdog sleeper pick.
Okay. Yeah, and definitely a sleeper. You know, he hasn't won in over a season. So for my sleeper pick, this guy has actually been my sleeper pick a good bit lately. But I do really like him on this track. I like what his team has been doing, but my pick is going to be Christopher Buescher.
I felt that coming.
Yeah. He's had pretty good results at Dover. I feel like he is still building momentum. I liked watching Buescher and Keselowski at Talladega last week because they were very strategic in what they were doing. They were staying out of trouble intentionally, and then they were both up there. You know, they weren't contending for the win, but they were both up there right at the end.
No, I totally agree with you. I really like watching both of them, and especially with Keselowski, he had some really good practice laps. If they work together, they could be up there for contention of winning, and I would be all for that.
Enjoy the nice weather. We're probably in for some rain. They're definitely in for some rain at Dover. We'll see if they get it in on Sunday. We'll be watching. If not, we'll just have to figure out how we can watch it on Monday.
Yeah, hopefully they fit it in. If not, I'm fine with Monday race. I don't really have anything going on, so that'll be good for me. But let's hope that we got a good winner. Hendrick, they're great, but step aside, let Brad, Chastain, Truex, let one of them win. In my heart, that make me happy. So let's hope it's a good one.
Yep. Enjoy the race at Dover. Get all those exams done, Nick, and get into your summertime. And we'll get into the summer part of the Cup season too.